Hey guys, Thrasher here, and we have some news on an upcoming event in Dragon Ball Legends, which actually has a lot of fairly big implications. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so right now I'm on the Legends version of the DBZ space site. This site pulls the information out of the updates that we get. In the most recent update, which was yesterday, this event came up in the files, the data. So it says Sparking Super Scout Battle, get Sparking characters Z powers. We're gonna get free Sparking units, and we'll go through who these units are real quick, but there's two big things to note here. One, this starts on midnight of the 15th, so it's coming up pretty soon here. The other big thing is you're going to be getting free Sparking units, which means, like I talked about in my last video, they have to have some catch-up mechanic so that way people can Zenkai all these units, because if you don't have the units to 7 stars, then there's just no reason for you to spend crystals, and you need to be spending crystals to Zenkai them because Zenkaiing is the most important thing. It looks like this is the catch-up mechanic, and I would bet a very large amount of money that all of these, or a very large majority of these 9 characters we're about to look at, are going to get Zenkais in the reasonably near future, and I think the biggest one is this cell right here. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but let's just look at the 3 options. So you've got the Super Scout Battle that's going to start. I would assume you probably can't do these as many times as you want. That way, not everyone can get up to 14 stars. It's probably going to be like 1 or 3 times a day, as is normally the case with a lot of Scout Battles. When a Scout Battle's been out long enough, sometimes they allow you to do it infinite amount of times. But let's talk about this in general. So we know that this Boo right here is going to get Zenkai'd, and we know that if this cell gets Zenkai'd, he's going to be an absolute monster. He was basically top of the tier list for a very long period of time. The only character that really rivaled him was the father-son Kamehameha Gohan, and when he had a quality regen team, he was just absolutely destroying. He did well on the androids team. His kit is amazing. I can't wait to see what happens once he does get a Zenkai and they buff him. This Boo, he was a little underwhelming. His kit wasn't too bad. We don't need to talk about him as a whole as far as, you know, what's going to happen, but he is a unit that if Zenkai'd properly could be very, very powerful. And obviously the Boo has already been Zenkai'd, so we don't need to talk specifically about him. The other 2 options are Lineage of Evil, so we'll talk about these Frieza and Cooler characters in a second, and then Saiyan. Now, the Cooler has already been Zenkai'd, so the Boo has been Zenkai'd, and the Cooler has been Zenkai'd, so it seems to me like this is our catch-up mechanic so that people can start Zenkai'ing characters. So if it turns out that these are available, but you can only do them a certain amount of times, I highly recommend that you do it every single day and don't miss any. Now, if it's unlimited and you can do it as many times as you want, obviously max them all out, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Of these 2, the Metal Cooler, I mean, he was okay when he came out. I didn't think he was amazing personally. This Frieza has insane damage potential. He did when he came out, and I think he will once he gets the Zenkai stat boost and whatever changes they make to his combat abilities. So he's kind of the one I'm looking for there. Up top, it's Cell. In the middle here, it is the Golden Frieza. And then down in the Saiyan one, all 3 of these characters could be absolutely amazing. It just really depends on what happens with their Zenkais. Obviously, this guy right here has the ability to do a ton of damage when he transforms and you use his Kaioken. But this guy is the one that I'm really excited for. When he came out, he was so ridiculously oppressive. He basically broke the game for like a solid month and a half. It was either you had the green Bardock or you didn't, and if you didn't have the green Bardock, you just lost. So overall, I think this is actually going to be really good for the game as a whole, really good for the community. It's going to allow people to actually Zenkai characters that I think are going to matter. It's nice to see that almost every character on here was a very, very high quality character when they came out and will probably be a very competitive PvP character once they get Zenkai'd. I'm trying to see one the only one I'm actually worried about is this Metal Cooler right here. Obviously, you could talk about the Boo or the Final Form Cooler, but those have already been Zenkai'd. This Metal Cooler right here, I'm not 100% certain that he's going to be amazing once he gets Zenkai'd, but I know this Cell is going to be amazing. I think there's a very high chance that this Super Boo is amazing. The chance that this Golden Frieza is amazing is, I would say, 95%, and then all of these guys have extreme potential. So that is awesome. And with that being said, I think this overall is really good news for the game. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Hopefully, what's going to happen is these are the units that drop in the Super Scout Battle. You're basically free Sparking units at this point. I'm sure most people already have these, but for those that don't, cool, you get a new sparking unit, and for those that do but don't have them to 7 stars, it's going to get them ready for the Zenkai, which I think is going to happen. So we'll have to see how this generally plays out, but I think it is kind of the roller coaster going the other way, where they need to give stuff to the free-to-play players so that way they can catch up to the pay-to-win players a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to stop using the term pay-to-win. I don't think that's accurate for what this is, because you can't pay an unlimited amount to beat people. You just have to pay a certain amount to be competitive with all of the other people who are paying money. So it is pay-to-win, but I'm going to come up with a different term for it, because it's paying to stay competitive is really what it is. That's all I have for this video. If you guys think I missed anything, throw it down below. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.